There are moments in life when we find ourselves at a crossroads, questioning whether we should give certain people another chance. It's a tough decision. Should we offer them the opportunity to change, or is it wiser to close that door for good? This internal struggle is something we all experience, often leaving us conflicted about how much patience and forgiveness we can afford. But how do we know when it's time to protect our peace and move on? Stoic philosophy, which teaches the importance of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot, offers timeless wisdom for navigating such dilemmas. Stoicism emphasizes the value of rationality and inner tranquility. According to the Stoics, we cannot control the behavior of others, but we can always control our reactions and decisions. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When we constantly give others chances at the expense of our well-being, we surrender that power. But should we continue to let those who consistently hurt or deceive us disturb our emotional balance? The question, from a Stoic perspective, is not about vengeance or resentment, but about maintaining our inner peace and moral integrity. When we think about giving people second, third, or even fourth chances, it's crucial to reflect on how it aligns with our values and mental health. Are we acting out of fear of conflict, or are we honoring our sense of self-worth? The Stoics believed that peace of mind is the highest virtue, and sometimes that peace is best preserved by stepping away from those who continuously disrupt it. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So how will you choose to respond? Will you allow toxic influences back into your life, or will you take control and focus on your own growth?" Before we start, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like this video, like it and write your opinion through comments. After this introduction, we go to the main topic. What kind of people we should remove from our lives and we should not give them a second chance. We will check here. Never give these 7 people another chance. Number 1. The chronic manipulator. Chronic manipulators are individuals who constantly try to bend others to their will, using deceit, guilt, or emotional tactics to get what they want. They often play on our emotions, making us feel responsible for their well-being or success. Stoic philosophy teaches us to protect our inner peace and focus on what we can control ourselves, our actions, and our responses to others. But when faced with manipulators, this becomes challenging. How many times have you found yourself entangled in the web of someone's manipulation, only to regret giving them another chance? According to Stoicism, the key is in recognizing these individuals for who they are and taking action to preserve our own mental tranquility. Psychologically, manipulators prey on our need for approval or fear of conflict, making it difficult to set boundaries. They convince us that giving in to their demands will solve the problem, but the cycle continues. Marcus Aurelius, a key figure in Stoic philosophy, often reminded himself to be wary of such toxic influences. He emphasized focusing on one's own integrity and resisting the sway of outside forces that disrupt inner peace. When someone consistently manipulates you, they're doing more than controlling your actions. They're undermining your personal freedom. So, how long should you tolerate such behavior before it becomes a threat to your well-being? Stoicism teaches us that allowing a chronic manipulator into our lives means sacrificing our own values for the sake of temporary harmony. Manipulators thrive on this, knowing that they can rely on our fear of confrontation. But the Stoics, particularly Epictetus, encouraged individuals to stand firm in their beliefs. "No man is free who is not master of himself," Epictetus wrote, highlighting the importance of self-control and autonomy. The moment we allow ourselves to be swayed by manipulation, we lose that mastery. It's crucial, therefore, to ask ourselves, is this relationship or situation worth compromising our own mental clarity and peace? In dealing with a chronic manipulator, it's essential to recognize the harmful effects they have on your life and, ultimately, your character. By giving them repeated chances, you're only enabling their behavior and denying yourself the opportunity to grow. The Stoic approach to dealing with such people is clear. Cut ties with those who disrupt your inner peace and do not respect your boundaries. This isn't about anger or retaliation. It's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being, something that Stoicism holds as one of the highest virtues. Number 2. The repeated liar. Lying breaks trust, and when someone repeatedly lies, they erode the foundation of any meaningful relationship. From a psychological standpoint, lies create a constant state of doubt and suspicion, making it hard to feel safe or secure around a person. According to Stoic philosophy, truth and integrity are crucial to maintaining a balanced and virtuous life. Stoicism encourages us to be honest not only with others, but with ourselves. So, what happens when someone in your life continually betrays that honesty? Should they be given another chance to lie again? Repeated liars often show no regard for the emotional harm they cause. They twist reality to suit their needs, undermining trust in the process. Seneca, a famous Stoic philosopher, spoke extensively about the importance of honesty and virtue. He believed that living a life of deception is destructive, not just to others, but to the liar's own character. Truth, Seneca argued, is the highest good, and to abandon it is to abandon your very soul. If someone in your life has made lying a habit, it's essential to evaluate whether their presence is compatible with your commitment to honesty and integrity. From a Stoic perspective, repeatedly forgiving someone who lies puts your own peace of mind at risk. Every lie forces you to question your reality, pulling you away from the clear, rational mindset that Stoicism values. Epictetus once said, "If someone betrays your trust, don't take it personally. Instead, ask yourself why you trusted them again." This reflection points to the responsibility we have in choosing whom we allow into our lives. Should we continue to trust those who have proven themselves untrustworthy, or should we take a step back and protect our inner harmony? Ultimately, giving a repeated liar another chance is a choice to accept continued deception and instability. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate relationships based on trust, truth, and mutual respect. When lies become a pattern, it's not just an occasional misstep, it's a fundamental flaw in character. As Stoics, we are called to let go of things that disturb our peace. Cutting ties with repeated liars is not about revenge, but about self-preservation and maintaining the clarity of mind that Stoicism so highly values. Number 3. The perpetual victim. The perpetual victim is a person who constantly blames external circumstances and others for their misfortunes, refusing to take responsibility for their actions or choices. From a psychological perspective, this mindset becomes toxic over time, as it fosters a sense of helplessness and dependency on others for validation and sympathy. Stoicism, on the other hand, teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses to life's challenges. A Stoic would argue that the perpetual victim's mentality is the opposite of self-empowerment. Have you ever encountered someone who always seems to be at the mercy of external forces, no matter the situation? Stoicism reminds us that such individuals trap themselves in a cycle of blame and passivity. Psychologically, individuals who adopt the perpetual victim mindset avoid personal growth. They often find comfort in their misery, using it as an excuse to stay stagnant. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus taught that life is filled with hardships, but it's our interpretation and response to those hardships that define us. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, Epictetus famously said. When someone repeatedly chooses to see themselves as a victim, they avoid the Stoic principle of taking responsibility for their emotional well-being. Is it possible to truly grow if you're always pointing fingers at someone else? From a Stoic point of view, perpetual victims also drain the emotional energy of those around them. They demand constant attention and empathy, but they rarely take action to change their circumstances. Stoics believe in the importance of self-sufficiency and inner strength, qualities that are incompatible with a victim mentality. If you allow these individuals too much space in your life, you risk being pulled into their negativity and losing sight of your own goals and values. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, warned against being influenced by the negativity of others, advising us to remain calm and focused on our own path. Ultimately, you must ask yourself, should you continue giving someone who plays the victim another chance? According to Stoic philosophy, it's important to protect your mental and emotional well-being by surrounding yourself with people who take responsibility for their actions and strive to improve themselves. Allowing perpetual victims to stay in your life can hinder your own growth, as their negativity may hold you back from achieving your personal goals. The Stoics teach that we must be wise in choosing whom we allow into our inner circle, valuing strength of character over constant complaint. Number 4. The Opportunist. The opportunist is someone who takes advantage of situations and often people solely for their own benefit. These individuals seek to exploit others whenever it serves their personal agenda, often disregarding ethics or loyalty. In the context of Stoic philosophy, opportunists embody the antithesis of virtues like honesty and fairness, which are central to Stoic values. Have you ever encountered someone who only seems to show up when it's convenient for them, taking more than they give? The Stoics would warn against allowing such individuals into your life, as their presence disrupts the harmony and balance Stoicism seeks to cultivate. Opportunists often justify their actions by focusing solely on their short-term gains, neglecting the consequences of their behavior. Psychologically, they may rationalize that everyone else would do the same, making them blind to the harm they cause others. In contrast, Stoic thinkers like Seneca emphasized the importance of living a virtuous life that transcends personal gain. True happiness, Seneca wrote, comes from integrity and virtue, not from exploiting others. Stoicism teaches that those who lack ethical grounding cannot be trusted, as they prioritize their own desires over the well-being of the community. When you allow opportunists too many chances, you risk losing your own sense of purpose and values. In the Stoic tradition, maintaining inner peace requires you to surround yourself with individuals who respect your boundaries and contribute positively to your life. Opportunists, however, act with self-interest in mind, often leaving behind a trail of broken relationships and unfulfilled promises. Marcus Aurelius advised that we should strive to live according to nature by acting justly and focusing on our own moral progress, rather than chasing after fleeting advantages like opportunists do. In conclusion, Stoicism encourages us to evaluate the relationships in our lives carefully, making sure that those we engage with share our commitment to virtue and integrity. Opportunists rarely change their behavior, as they prioritize personal gain above all else. Giving them repeated chances only undermines your own values and makes you vulnerable to further exploitation. The Stoics remind us that true strength lies in living a life aligned with ethical principles, and this means walking away from individuals who seek to manipulate situations for their own selfish purposes. Number 5. The Narcissist. A narcissist is someone who is deeply self-centered, constantly seeking admiration and validation from others, while showing little to no empathy for the feelings and needs of those around them. In psychology, narcissism is often linked to an inflated sense of self-importance, which makes it difficult for narcissists to form meaningful and balanced relationships. From a Stoic perspective, the narcissist's obsession with external approval goes against the Stoic ideal of inner peace and self-sufficiency. Have you ever encountered someone who demands constant praise, but never offers genuine support or care in return? Stoicism reminds us that such individuals are consumed by their egos, and that engaging with them can lead us away from the Stoic path of virtue. Narcissists often manipulate others to maintain their sense of superiority, leaving emotional damage in their wake. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius emphasized that true contentment comes from within, not from the adulation of others. Narcissists, however, rely entirely on external validation, which makes them fragile and reactive when that admiration is not given. In Stoic terms, this behavior is not just unhealthy, it's fundamentally opposed to the idea of being resilient and indifferent to the opinions of others. Are you allowing a narcissist to drain your energy and attention, distracting you from your own growth? From a Stoic viewpoint, it is wise to avoid giving narcissists too many chances, as they are unlikely to change their behavior. They often view relationships as one-sided, where they take as much as they can while giving little in return. Stoicism encourages us to be mindful of whom we associate with, recognizing that some individuals hinder our progress toward wisdom and tranquility. Narcissists, in their constant need for praise, create environments filled with drama and instability, which are the antithesis of the calm, steady life that Stoic philosophy advocates. Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us to maintain our emotional boundaries, especially with people like narcissists who are trapped in their own self-centered world. The Stoic ideal of self-control and detachment from external opinions reminds us that we don't need to tolerate individuals who drain us for their own gain. Giving a narcissist repeated chances only leads to disappointment and frustration, pulling us away from the Stoic pursuit of a virtuous and peaceful life. It's important to recognize when to step back and prioritize our own well-being and values. Number 6. The overly dependent. The overly dependent person relies excessively on others for emotional support, decision-making, and even their sense of identity. Psychologically, this behavior stems from a lack of self-confidence and an inability to cope with life's challenges independently. Stoicism, however, teaches the importance of self-reliance and resilience. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus believed that we should take responsibility for our own emotions and actions, rather than depending on others to solve our problems. Have you ever been in a relationship where someone constantly leans on you for every decision, draining your energy and focus? According to Stoicism, this overdependence can be harmful to both parties involved. Overly dependent individuals often prevent their own growth by refusing to face challenges on their own, seeking constant guidance or reassurance from others. From a Stoic perspective, this goes against the core principle of autonomy. As Marcus Aurelius noted, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When someone becomes too dependent on others, they relinquish their power over their own life, and in turn hinder their ability to develop resilience. Stoicism encourages personal responsibility and inner strength, qualities that are incompatible with constant dependency. In relationships with overly dependent individuals, it becomes difficult to maintain a sense of balance and independence. They may start to monopolize your time, expecting you to solve their problems instead of learning how to handle difficulties on their own. Stoicism warns against this type of imbalance, advocating instead for relationships that are mutually supportive yet allow for personal growth. By continually giving chances to someone who is overly dependent, you risk being weighed down by their emotional burden, which can ultimately disrupt your own journey towards self-improvement. The Stoics would advise against giving overly dependent people repeated chances, as it only enables their unhealthy reliance on others. Instead, they suggest fostering independence and self-sufficiency in relationships. According to Stoicism, personal growth requires that we face life's challenges head-on without constantly leaning on others for support. By setting boundaries with overly dependent individuals, you not only protect your own peace of mind, but also encourage them to develop their own inner strength. Number 7. The Flaky Friend. A flaky friend is someone who is unreliable, frequently cancels plans, or fails to follow through on their commitments. From a psychological perspective, dealing with a flaky friend can be frustrating, as it often feels like your time and trust are being disrespected. These individuals may promise to show up, offer support, or make plans, only to let you down at the last minute. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius emphasize that we should not be overly affected by the actions of others, but rather focus on how we respond to them. How many times have you allowed a flaky friend to disrupt your peace or drain your emotional energy? In Stoic philosophy, consistency and reliability are key virtues, which stand in stark contrast to the behavior of a flaky friend. According to Epictetus, we should focus on what is within our control, our own actions and responses, while accepting that we cannot control the behavior of others. A flaky friend disrupts the balance by creating uncertainty, and as Stoicism teaches, this lack of reliability can harm our inner peace. When a person repeatedly breaks their promises, should you continue to give them the benefit of the doubt, or is it wiser to protect your own peace of mind by setting boundaries? While it's natural to want to give friends second chances, repeated flakiness erodes trust over time. Stoicism suggests that we align ourselves with people who share our values, particularly those of honesty, integrity, and dependability. The philosopher Seneca noted that we should cultivate friendships with those who reflect our highest ideals, as these relationships help us grow. However, a flaky friend does the opposite, pulling us into a cycle of disappointment and frustration. If someone consistently lets you down, Stoicism encourages you to ask, are they helping or hindering your personal development? Ultimately, Stoicism teaches us the importance of maintaining our composure in the face of disappointment. By not allowing flaky friends to disrupt our sense of stability, we can protect our well-being. The Stoic approach would be to gracefully detach from such people and invest our energy in relationships that are built on mutual respect and reliability. By letting go of the need to constantly forgive flakiness, we can focus on friendships that truly add value to our lives, reflecting the Stoic principle of surrounding ourselves with people who contribute positively to our journey toward wisdom and tranquility. I hope these Stoic teachings are useful and effective for you. My goal is to make your life better and more enjoyable. I will accompany you in this interesting and meaningful magazine.